The no-kill movement will tell you the dog overpopulation crisis is nearly over. We're here to tell you it isn't. Who Will Let the Dogs Out has been inside over 220 shelters. We've watched this crisis up close in communities that national organizations rarely visit and almost never talk about. What we've seen is not a movement closing in on a solution. What we've seen is a movement that's learned to manage its own statistics. No kill sounds like a noble goal, and reducing unnecessary euthanasia is a goal worth pursuing. No one disputes that. It's a movement that brought us far towards improving the welfare of dogs. But the way no kill is currently being measured and marketed has become a serious problem. And the standard benchmark, saving 90% of shelter animals, sounds meaningful until you realize that benchmark only applies to animals who actually enter the shelter. If the dog never comes in, it doesn't count. So the incentive isn't to help more dogs. The incentive is to admit fewer of them. And that's exactly what's happening. Shelters stop picking up strays. They close their doors to owner surrenders. They implement appointment-only intake with long waiting lists stretching many weeks or many months. They promote community sheltering, a term that can mean leaving dogs where they are and calling that a solution. The intake number drops, the live release rate climbs. A press release goes out celebrating progress, and somewhere out on the country road, a dog nobody will pick up is hit by a car. Language has been weaponized in this debate in ways that shut down honest conversation. No kill implies that the alternative is killing for sport. It isn't. It never was. Community sheltering implies dogs are safe and supported in their communities. Often they are not. And live release rate implies animals are being saved. But releasing a dog back onto the street it was found on is not saving it. When the language is designed to make the numbers look good, rather than describe reality, the animals pay the price. Here's one of the most damaging consequences of no-kill culture. Shelters that are doing the hardest work, the ones that take every dog, no matter what, are being publicly condemned and villainized. They're labeled kill shelters. They're dragged on social media. They're targeted by campaigns that pressure the local governments to defund them or force policy changes that make their work impossible. These are the shelters absorbing every dog the restricted intake facilities won't touch. The sick, the injured, the aggressive, the overwhelming flood of animals from communities with no other option. They're being punished for saying yes, while the shelters that learn to say no are celebrated. That's not a movement solving a crisis. That is a movement protecting its own image. Here's what no-kill language and policy does not address: unaltered dogs reproducing in communities with no access to spay and neuter, unvaccinated dogs spreading disease through packs, owners in crisis with nowhere to turn, rural communities with no animal control infrastructure at all. No-kill policy doesn't solve any of these things. It just stops counting them. The path out of this crisis is not a better metric. It's harder, slower, less marketable work. It means funding accessible spay and neuter in the communities that need it most. It means community vaccination programs. It means supporting pet owners before they reach crisis. It means honest intake policies that don't abandon animals to improve a statistic. It means admitting the no-kill movement, whatever its intentions, has in many places made this crisis harder to see and therefore harder to solve. We're not against saving dogs. We've dedicated years of our lives to it. We're against a framework that prioritizes the appearance of progress over the reality of suffering. The dogs that no-kill stopped counting are still out there, and they're still waiting for someone to tell the truth about them.